All right, good morning. Going to be doing a really, really rare. I actually should do more of these. Public power hour. Um, yeah, I'm going to do public power hour. So I started a couple minutes early here to let some people roll in if anybody wants to roll in. So um, for those of you that have maybe had joined the power hour in the past or have never seen the power hour, it's basically where I go over the markets every single morning, 7 days a week, and we kind of look at what's happening. We look at charts. We look at charts. We do charts. Hello, Mysim. How you doing? Frimson. Randy the Savage. Yep. Yeah, I keep meaning to do videos, and then I keep not doing them. And today, the newsletter that we put out for the Power Hour was just packed full of alts, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm just gonna do what I do, and and then just do what I do. So, for those of you watching this later on, there will be timestamps of the coins that we discuss. So if you guys want to see a coin, you can go ahead and check the timestamps out. I'll pin a tweet to the top, or a tweet. I'll pin a post to the top, and then you guys can check that out. So I'm actually right now, there's a lot of coins today. So right now I'm actually writing them down so I can do the timestamps because I do it kind of manually. Extreme stream. No, not an extreme stream. This is one of my power hours. We do one every day. Uh, all right. So yeah, cool. Some people rolling in. Give it a couple more minutes, then we'll get started. Actually, the power hour was at 9:15 for a while due to internet issues at my house because everyone's on the internet. And 9:15 seemed to be a good day lately. 9 o'clock good, so probably still have some regular power hour members rolling in here because we changed it back to 9 o'clock this morning. So many coins to discuss. Is anyone out there currently in any positions looking to get in any positions? Has any general questions? If you guys want to post them, that way, I can go ahead and look at those for you. At the same time, if you want to be specific with your questions, give me a coin with a pairing, either USD or BTC, or for some reason you're looking at an XRP pair or something. If you have a time frame, I mean, as much specific so I can get to the chart as fast as possible. This is probably going to be about the way how many coins I had. This may be like an hour and a half or 2 hours. So try to keep it fairly concise. Um, but yeah, so if you guys have anything or even general questions, let me know. Jason Bateman? Really? I don't see that. Maybe I should. Doesn't he have like a kind of a slight lisp? Do I have kind of a slight lisp? Don't think I do. Listen to myself enough. That's weird. Okay. Well, I guess I'll take your word for it. One of the reasons I thought about doing this today too, I'm like, I wonder who's going to be up on a Saturday because my Saturday viewership in the Power Hour generally drops off because it's Saturday. I'm like, oh, I wonder if YouTube's going to be dropping off here too. Still writing down coins from the newsletter. So if you wonder why we're not started yet, Strat. Took me an hour this morning, almost straight. The kids were a little bit on my butt, but lots to talk about today. So okay, I'll give my general thoughts real quick. While I'm killing time here. Let me write this timestamp down, 420. Okay, so my general thoughts on the market, which we've been discussing a lot in the past couple of weeks on the show here, is that Bitcoin is stagnating, and actually I covered this in a few public videos lately. Bitcoin stagnating and alts taking the lead essentially, which is exactly what we're seeing today, which is kind of what got me excited enough to do this public power hour. Okay, cool. I got everything written down. Looks like that took me about 4 to 5 minutes. Don Monkeytron Mike, what's up, guys? And Ian, currently in Link, but and XRP, also a meme position in Doge. Okay, yeah, Doge is always fun. Um, all right, so It is warm in my office. All right, so here we go, guys. All right, so first up is Bitcoin, which really not much to say about Bitcoin lately. It's essentially been very stagnant and riding underneath. We had a ascending triangle, if you guys recall, right there. So we have an ascending triangle right there. Hey Topher, yeah, if you wanna give me some pairings or if you want specificity, but we cover all those coins, I think, in USD and BTC, so you should be okay there. Um, yeah, yeah, it's. I wish I could pin a chat or something. Anyway, do you guys read comments on these videos or? Because I never do any public videos, so anyway, hey Monkeytron, can you just post a quick comment about like we do USD then BTC or something like that? I don't know how I can do that from my side, honestly. Okay, so BTC 5. All right, so Bitcoin. All right, so getting reoriented here. Ascending triangle base, and we've been living underneath the ascending triangle base here from June 27th. We also have another declining trend line right on the front of price, and we should be kept down by that. Currently have an alert level at 94.41. That is your basic, essentially at this stage, a buy point for Bitcoin if it were to blast off on good volume from that area. We do have alerts on all of the tokens that we discuss. We'll be discussing many tokens. They all have alerts on them, and they are for you to take a look at the coin. Many of them are buy points. Some of them are noted just to look at, but many actually are buy points where you can take action. So Bitcoin, really nothing to do. There's been nothing to do. We have a system that we follow where we use distribution days and follow through days to time to get in and out of larger Bitcoin moves. Right now, the market's been in a correction, and it's actually been in a correction for quite some time. I think since this candle, if I'm not mistaken. So no big Bitcoin positions warranted right now. Next up is Ethereum. And Ethereum doing pretty good. So we mentioned it was breaking out of the channel here. It's holding above the channel nicely. Volume is declining, which is also good. 8 hours left to go. So yeah, we should still be in a general volume decline situation. I've gotten a little at 240, 253 right now in case that does decide to pop up. This is, you can make a decision if you want to buy right here. It's not a glaring buy point at that particular level, but it's just recent resistance. So if it gets above that, there may be a possibility that we form some kind of extra bullish pattern or we go into super low volume, then we blast off. That would be a good sign for Ethereum. But all in all, Ethereum's not doing too bad, holding up above the channel. Hopefully that will continue. XRP. All right, XRP here, playing with a trend line support right there. Also declining trend line right on top of that one. 2053 alert. XRP finally came to life. We had a head and shoulders pattern in XRP, didn't quite fulfill that, but the whole market turned around, luckily. And there we go, a nice breakout. 1898, now a 2053 alert. Right now, the market does appear to be kind of in bull mode. So almost, I won't say every altcoin, but almost any altcoin that you see a good setup on is likely to continue. And that's really been the theme of the past month or so, to be honest with you. So, all right, next up is Bitcoin Cash. And this guy not doing a whole heck of a lot right now. Do I have trend lines? Nope. All right, I guess all my trend lines are deleted right now. All right, so Bitcoin Cash has a little bit of work to do. Looks okay, kind of a head and shoulders feel to it. This has not been very bullish lately. I mean, if you look at this whole consolidation, a lot of coins are all the way back past this high. This one is not even close, so that shows a lot of weakness there for XRP. What? ETH 2.0 delayed to 2021? What the hell? Is it that? I am not a blockchain developer. Is it that complicated? I mean, maybe it is. I'm not saying blockchain is easy, but haven't they been working on this thing since like 2017? I guess I just don't understand. Well, that may put a little bit of a cap. Part of the rally that we've been seeing isn't due to ETH 2.0, but the early coins we saw in the rally had ETH 2.0 stamped on them. It's like, oh, you work with Ethereum, you rally. You work with Ethereum, you rally. You make Ethereum better, you rally. You make Ethereum better, you rally. Like we were seeing that theme. So Interesting to see what this delay does if it's not going. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I say news is garbage, and I generally do believe that. But ETH 2.0 being delayed, I don't really consider that news. I consider that an actual thing that's happening. Like a lot of news is, oh, we have a new wallet, or we're launching an ICO, or some like little article, but that's kind of fundamental to Ethereum, so that's a little bit daunting. Um, okay, yeah, we'll see how that handles. I mean, we're still going with price action, but it's good to know the backstory nonetheless. All right, next up is XRP. All right, where the hell am I? Now I went back to ETH. BSV is where we were. There we go. All right, so BSV still in the channel after just a huge pop-up out of the lows. So we had the descending triangle, and we noted we were kind of, chilling underneath the trend line here. Beautiful pop-up on that one. Maker? I don't think I have Maker. Maybe I'll add that to the list here. All right, we'll take a look at that. Thanks, Wilcon? Don't want to butcher your name. Yeah, so BSV, another channel. We had a channel here. We blasted up out of that, and then another channel down here. So when the whole market gets going, BSV likely will have another beautiful blast off. BSV behaves like Bitcoin Cash used to behave. In other words, just gave you tons and tons of percentages when the market was super bullish. So I know a lot of people don't like Bitcoin Cash and don't like BSV, but Bitcoin Cash until recently has been a very excellent trading vehicle. I wonder if BSV is going to take its place. All right, so next up is Litecoin. Similar to Ethereum here, kind of have an intermediate term, kind of a strange alert level at 44.49, but it did break our early alert of 42.31 down here on a large declining trend line. It is in a larger channel situation, so getting up here to 49.86, about 10%. And if it breaks out there, your risk isn't too bad at about 2.5 to 3%. So I mean, it's not a horrible trade to take. The only bad side is that Litecoin generally has been a horrible, horrible coin to trade. So, but if that's not a bad risk reward ratio right there, looks like was about a 3 to 1. Yeah, actually over a 3 to 1. It's like a 4 to 5 to 1 risk reward. So just from a risk reward standpoint, that could be an interesting trade to take. But again, this point right here at 40 at our alert level is kind of it's a weird buy point. It's not like a technically perfect buy point. So there's some decisions to be made here if you want to take that trade. An alternative buy point would be the 45.89 level, which would widen your stop to about 5.5%, give or take, maybe a little bit more than that, 5.75. And then that would where's our oh, doesn't show that trend line. Oh well. Anyway, you get the general gist of it. Is up there. So it's about 7.5. Yeah. So definitely a better risk reward here. If the whole market pops up, I don't think that's a horrible trade to take. Not my favorite though. From a risk reward perspective, that's actually really good. All right, next up is BNB. If you guys hear any background noise, please let me know. I've got a noise cancellation software going, but if you guys do hear something, I've got my office door open. The family's got music on, doing laundry and stuff. All right, BNB breaking out of a alert I just put on here, 17.4973. Bigger picture on BNB, we are up near a resistance level. The difference here, which I think is actually really good, not to mention the whole market is rallying, and XTZ USD just got alerted. Where is it at? All right, so XTZ just got alerted right there. Looking so far so good. 15 minutes into not even 15 minutes into a 2-hour candle. Our volume's excellent. Let's drop down to the 15-minute. And small inverted head and shoulders right there. Pretty good volume aggregation tool. So for those of you that haven't seen this is the volume aggregation tool. It tallies up the volume buying and selling pressures. And it's looking pretty good. The volume's not bad right there. 3 minutes left in a 15-minute candle. It's already pretty big, so not bad at all. XTZ lately has been a lot more bullish, and so not too bad. Yeah, that's actually not a horrible entry if you're looking for XTZ. Stop may be pretty low at this point, though. 11%. That may warrant a smaller position size. You could give it to this, which would be about 7% or 8%, which could give you probably a pretty normal position size on that one. So that's not too bad. All right, where were we? We were talking about BNB, which was close to the highs. Yeah, so this is right there at the highs trying to go as well. Little, not as much volume as we just saw in XTZ. That's pretty good volume. Actually, it's pretty decent volume right there on the 15-minute. So you can see the cup form, the handle, and then a breakout. So you could try to take this one as well if you'd like. That's about a 3 to 4% resistance point. But the only one of the dangers here, I should say, there's always a danger, is the fact that you're only a few percent from resistance at our 18,143 right there. So that's your actual resistance point. This is all intra-channel movement. So keep in mind, this is about a 1-to-1 risk reward. Now, if we blast out above 18,143, obviously that's better, but it's difficult to say that, hey, this is the base it's going to blast off from. That's always hard to do. One good point to BNB, though, is that we go from declining volume, and now we flattened out our average volume line with elevated volume. So we're trying to get healthier. So we're starting to see money move back into the alts again. We were pausing for a couple of days, and then now money's trying to come back. So that's a good thing, and that could propel us forward. Next up is EOS. This guy, not one of my favorites, actually not doing a whole lot, stagnating quite a bit. Oh, by the way, guys, I do have two charts. I have a daily up here and a 2-hour if you guys haven't caught that yet. Yeah, just as a side note there. So anyway, EOS, I don't have one of those median alerts here. I think the alert I still have is 2.5. I could let's throw up the EOS alert. We'll update it. Yeah, still at 2.5. This looks a lot like those other, like the Ethereum setup and the Litecoin setup. Let's update this alert to 265.46 for EOS. 2.6546. 2.6546. Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, this is the preview for the Power Hour. Not really a preview, kind of just a public day for the Power Hour. This is what we do every single day, and adjusting alert levels and things like that. So this is public, so guys, please do like the video if you're enjoying the content. Even if you don't want to subscribe to the service, that's fine. Just like the video. Gets it on more people's eyeballs and stuff like that. I'd appreciate that. So next up is Cardano. Always like talking about Cardano lately. We spend too much time. I always feel in the past couple weeks we've spent too much time talking about Cardano. So Cardano actually had a fairly good sell signal for us up here out of our Pi method exit points, and it's actually finding support, which is really nice on the daily time frame. You can see we're being supported there. We had an alert at 11,921, so we're chopping just above that, which is really good. So if you do like Cardano, I think your stop right now is at about this trend line 7% or so down from here. Cardano has really just been on a substantial run. There's been no, I mean, like I said, you did have kind of an exit there, but if you did, you can enter here with definitely a manageable stop if you still want to participate in Cardano. And it doesn't look like it looks like it's found some support. So that's a good thing. If you look at my volume aggregation tool, the orange line is the sellers and the green line is the buyers. Look at the sellers. They're just not there. They're just, I mean, you're going to have some selling in a downtrend, but if anything, it's just like the buyers paused. So when those buyers come back, you may see that green bar go straight up and those reds still stay flat. So excellent. This is really reminding me about some of those runs in 2017, and you're just like, when are you going to stop? And then, yeah, anyway, when are you going to stop? And I think I think our Pi method actually nails down a lot of those exits. All right, we already talked about XTZ a little bit. And looks so far we're still above that, looking good. XTZ also had a head and shoulders on it. Yeah, so a few weeks ago back here we had XRP had a head and shoulders, XTZ had a head and shoulders, and I think it was one or two others had a head and shoulders. So a nice turnaround from that particular setup, and now we're breaking this trend line. Your actual negation for the head and shoulders pattern though is 285, but if the market's going to keep bullish, then there's no problem buying here in my opinion. All right, next up is Link. And so we got Link here on a declining trend line. Huge blue sky breakout on Link. If for those of you that have not been following Link, what's wrong with you? And if you have been following Link, you got a beautiful blue sky breakout here. Volume could be better. I got to be honest with you, it could be a little bit better, but the price action so far is great. And we've got a little consolidation here on the 2-hour chart. So we fight it around there. Popped up like my Tesla trade yesterday. Damn it. Lisk BTC me some. Yeah, we'll take a look at that in a little bit. If something's moving right now, if you guys let me know, I'll cut away to it. But if you just want me to look at a coin, I'm just going to write it down when we get to the BTC pairs. So, but yeah, Chainlink with a nice and tidy consolidation up here and a 842 alert. The price action from the top down has been great. So this could follow through at any time. Next up is XLM. Yeah, so someone did just have a question. Yeah, it was James. Welcome, James. Thanks for joining. Good time to buy or due for a pullback? So XLM blasted off. We had a little declining trend line right there. And at this stage of the game, we had our alert over here at 090301 yesterday. That was the buy point in my opinion. If you come back down to that level, that is an entry point. You can enter on a pullback like that. So far, there's a little bit of support here on a trend line. We could bounce up at this stage. Your stop right now would be down at this level, about the 81,740, maybe a little bit lower, giving some wiggle room. That's a 13% stop. Maker right now, Wilcon? Okay, yeah, I'll take a look. We'll jump over to Maker here in a second after we're done with XLM. This would be your best stop right now. I have a concept called a best stop, which basically, there's a lot of people put stops on, but it's not a good stop. Like, they don't let price action move. This stop would let price action move as much as it needed to, I think, to keep the coin healthy. So I think XLM has a little bit more work to do, but I mean, it could blast off at any time. There's a semblance of a cup and handle if I delete this right there. Oh, you're welcome, Ian. Yeah, I gotta do some more of these. So there's a semblance of a cup and handle. Let me throw an alert here actually at 99162. Let's actually move this. That's actually good. 0.099162. See, there's your cup and handle. You had a little bit of a false breakout, but that's not the end of the world. Let me update this on XLM. I think that would be your entry point. And if you enter here and it blasts up, your stop could be under here, under this. If this is the low that we put in, and if we go lower, then that would be your stop. But right now, this would be your stop. Let's just say we blasted off right now, or even if we went sideways for 3 days and didn't undercut this would be your stop. Once you undercut that, that's not a viable stop anymore, in my opinion. All right, let me update this XLM alert to 099162.062. Okay, there we go. All right, so next up is, oh no, we were going to look at Maker. Maker BTC. What? Typing. Coinbase. Okay, I guess we can do Coinbase. 24. Blasting off right now. Yeah, see, this hasn't been on my newsletter in a while, and you can see why. I don't know about versus Bitcoin though. I haven't seen it versus Bitcoin in a long time either. Now that I'm thinking about it. So this is looking better. It's looking like it has a potential for a turnaround. If you bought this here, your stop would have to be underneath the low there, about 6 or 7%. The only problem is you don't have any uptrend. There's zero uptrend. So think about, if you guys have been trading for the past couple of years, how many times have you seen things just go lower and then just go lower and then just go lower? So it's hard to know without any semblance of an uptrend or a reversal pattern. I don't see a reversal pattern here. So this is not something I would be interested in. Let's say you were to buy this here, your stop isn't too bad at 7%. If you bought that and it curls up, that's fantastic. To be honest with you, that'd be a little bit lucky. That would be a little bit lucky. Double bottom, I wouldn't consider it a double bottom personally. It didn't quite come all the way back down to the bottom. I do like the fact that it's actually a higher low. I like this. I'm not mad at that. But the problem is you don't know what this is going to do. Let me show you an example. Um, I don't know, and it's on a lot of the coins we have. Zill's a good example. Now, one benefit you have is that the market is generally bullish right now, so that's a good thing. But Zill's a prime example. Maker to me looks like, let's find a spot on Zill. Maybe like right about here or something. Oops. Maybe something like this. Here's the low, and then you have kind of a higher low. That's in and of itself isn't bad. This also has a lot of, but keep in mind, so in this example, you'd be coming down into this, kind of like that. And then you just have this. There's no history here. There's absolutely no history. What's better, and the ZIL chart is a prime example, also Bitcoin 2015, and we're going to look at 10 coins today with this exact same bottoming pattern. Because see what happens, you go up a little bit, which is good. The question is, are you going to sell at the prior high? You have to know when you're going to sell it or under what circumstances you're going to sell it. And then this one comes back down again. And then what happens? Let's say you don't sell it here. Then you're just stuck in this coin for 6 months. You could just be stuck down here, if that makes sense. You're just, you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know when it's going to go, you know? And then Zill finally starts putting some good stuff in. And then you have a cup here near a high. This was one of our first alerts on Zill right here at the breakout. I think we had a small one here, but really up there, I think we had one there and we had one there. We didn't have, I don't think I had one here. I don't think I had one here, but we didn't have any in here. None. Okay. What we do is we look for those reversal signals, and there's, in my opinion, not too many reversal signals. We may have had one across here. I don't remember. That this one wouldn't be too bad because here, like let's say, damn it, how do I keep hitting that one? Right there, you see the difference in this particular pattern is you already have a history of the channel so far, and now you have straight sideways action. So if that breaks out, you at least have a trade at least up to the high. See, this would be a good risk reward, 14% to 47. Well, let's go back to Maker and then we'll move on. And you mentioned a risk reward, so we'll take a look at that. You say 500. Are you talking? You mean talking USD? Oh, okay. Yeah, USD. This is why I say it's better if you put the pairing. So if you guys are gonna post coins, do like what Mysim did, LTC, BTC, and then we're not. I don't mind it, but it just wastes time for all the viewers. Gotta be honest with you. So all right, 7% there to a 4%. It's about a 1.5. That's not too bad. I'm not too mad at that trade just for that trade. I'm not too mad at that. Yeah, probably when you were posting about it, brought it up, it was probably a little bit better because it's already moved up a little bit. But um, yeah, so see, there's that. I would have liked to get in right there. If I would have an alert, it probably would have been there yesterday at about the 458, and then that would have been an 8% reward for a 3% risk. That'd have been a better risk reward. But yeah, you can try this. It's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you. I'm not massively mad at it from that particular perspective, but in the bigger picture, see, I look at the bigger picture here, and I don't see a lot of bullish action. And it could launch up and get away from me, but that's okay. The whole point about trading isn't to take every single setup you take or you see, it's to take the setups that fit within your wheelhouse and your circle of competence. All right, let's keep moving. This is going to be a long one. XMR. All right, so XMR here. Yeah, sure, Wilcon. So XMR broke our declining trend line. We still have an alert at 70.05 that it has to get over. Our volume so far looks pretty good. So that could start to blast off if the market gets really good and Monero blasts off. I'm a little worried BTC is going to have too good of a day. We'll see. Hopefully BTC won't go too far because the reason the alts have been going so crazy is because Bitcoin's not. As you guys know, once Bitcoin starts to go, the um, alts potentially stall out. So hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully Monero doesn't get BTC going. They do tend to run together a little bit in terms of veracity. All right, next up is Tron. So Tron, right here we have a 1950 alert. It's kind of walking up a little bit. We had an earlier alert, but Tron's been really choppy lately, and I just haven't been happy with it in the setups that it's been having. You could call this a cup and handle with a small buy point right there, but we didn't have that. This one's so close that it's about 6% away. So, but yeah, I'm Tron needs to break out from that 1950 and it needs to have good volume, but so far it hasn't done either of those things or had either of those things. All right, so next up is Ethereum Classic, usually looking garbage like Tron typically looks, and no major better action today. I mean, on the daily time frame, we did break out on pretty decent volume. We do have one large doji candle, and we're consolidating that. I don't have an active alert for this. Um, I don't think I'm going to put one on there either. If someone really wants me to put an alert up there at 680, I will, but I'm not really looking at that. Okay, so to wrap up the top 20, it looks like the alts are trying to get their feet wet again. Bitcoin's still stalling, so really nothing's changed. Do you still do the morning stock power hour? Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up? I think it's called you Got. I don't know. What's up, buddy? Yeah, I do. Yeah, go check it out. Oh, you missed. Oh, the stock power hour. I had beautiful trade that I had on, and then I don't know what I got. I'm still trying to figure out what went wrong on that one, but I missed a beautiful trade on Tesla yesterday. All right, so let's take a look. Next one we look at is Binance.us coins because you can't trade in Binance if you're in the US. So looking at Binance US coins here. First one up I have is Algo. Algo yesterday broke up from our 2509 alert and doing pretty good right there. Yes, Monkeytron, I'm still crying about Tesla. I'm trying to figure out, I mean, I think I know what I did wrong. I'm looking, I had a couple trades that I really mismanaged. My analysis was spot on, which is generally the case, but it's just my execution. Sometimes these trades, I'm like, man, what were you thinking? If you'd have given yourself like one more hour of decision making time, you know, you'd be up a lot more. But I mean, that Tesla trade yesterday was just that was awesome. The thing is, I did it like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and then I had another. I was waiting for the second opportunity to do it again, and I had it, and then I took the trade, and then I exited the trade, and yeah, trading's fun. All right, so first up is Algo. So yeah, Algo broke above our 2509 alert level. This one has a little bit of room more to go until we hit the top trend line on the daily time frame. After that, at least on Coinbase, it looks like not a blue sky breakout because that would be when it breaks this price point, but at least it breaks a ton of resistance. And with the volume that we got on that breakout, I could see that starting a much larger move. On the smaller time frame, the volume aggregation tool is still pretty good. While we got music blaring and this voice RTC software is working great. Um, this algo right here is breaking out really nicely, consolidating nicely, volume aggregation tool looking really good. So a pullback buy. At this point, I think your stop could be at the 2649. If it pulls back there in benign volume, you could give it all the way. You could have a potential retest of the 2509, which wouldn't be the end of the world if it was on low volume, and that could maybe get you another entry point. All right, after that is Atom. So Atom, topping out just a little bit here. Pullback buys lately have almost been the only way to get into. We did find a nice middle ground right there. It actually looks like a measured move. Now that I'm looking at it, there's a measured move there that it hit. But we had a 2891 alert on the break of the trend line, and there was a general resistance spot right there. And then, yeah, it looks like we're due a consolidation in Atom. I don't necessarily think the move is over from the way the chart looks. I think the move is likely halfway through, maybe just beginning, something like that. At least another big pop past the 4.4 level or 4.5 almost level up here. But right now it looks like it's going into a corrective phase, so there's not much to do up here. If you guys did want to sell, if you had positions, that's a choice you can make. Um, yeah, you can make that choice and wait for the consolidation to work out. You know, one thing I don't have is a good alert for Adam. Let's put it at 4.472. Right there for Adam. Adam. All right, so there's the new alert for Adam. All right, next up is Dash. Good morning, Ajay. Can that wait, or do you need it right now? Because I can get to that in about 4 coins. We'll have a little bit of a, not a break, but all right. So next up is Dash. This guy really has had nothing going on since that big, huge, massive, lovely pump there. A little bit similar to Bitcoin Cash in the way that it never bounced back up towards the highs. Maybe this is what Dash needs to get going again. The first time we've actually had Dash on the newsletter in a while, and it is trying to break right there. So actually, I could probably adjust this alert. So we're still technically under this trend line. And a break of that trend line could also break, or a break of the alert level here at 73,136 could also break the trend line, which would be a nice reversal for Dash. Your stopping point there would have to be at the bottom here, about 5%, which isn't too bad. Next up's Ontology. That's not Ontology. All right, so Ontology's kind of had a interesting past couple of weeks here. Volume declining, which is good, and we're riding the trend line, squeezing up into a 670 alert level. Ontology, it's been walking up, but you can see it hasn't been like the biggest. It hasn't broken out and had any runs. It comes and stalls and hits the trend line. So if for some reason you guys are all over Ontology, hopefully it'll blast off this time, but its history hasn't really been showing that's the case. If it does blast off though, you know, you can definitely buy it. This is a slightly larger consolidation. Why does that one keep, am I accidentally hitting the shift button or something? So you can see we've had 3 attempts at a high. This is one of the larger bases that we've had. There's a cup here, and there's like a small cup there, and whatever that thing is. So this is a larger base. Ideally, we get a bigger breakout and we get better price action, because that's a nicer consolidation. But that's conjecture at this stage of the game that that's going to lead to a big breakout. So you may have to make a decision if you want Ontology or not on that one. All right, next one up is VET. All right, so VET, we noted as we were doing the show yesterday, I think it was during the show. Yeah, no, after the show. 9, we're at right there. So here's the show yesterday. So we were here. Um, so it actually crossed our trend line with pretty heavy volume. That's usually a sell signal, but this thing reversed. Actually, yeah, you guys weren't here. So our actual sell signal on VET, which is a sell I posted in our Slack channel in real time, was up here. That was my sell on VET right there. But it's actually consolidating nicely. We drew this red line the other day, thinking of what it may do, and it's kind of been doing it. I mean, we definitely undercut the trend line. I currently have it alerted at 19166. So if that gets broken, that could pull you into a new uptrend. If you break this trend line one more time, this trade is dead. That's how I would view that. If we break it again on any kind of volume, the trade's just dead. I mean, I'm already out of it. It's already kind of on life support as it is. But it did have a nice bounce here. Our volume aggregation tool, you can see not a lot of buying pressure. So we could stall out up here as it's trying to pull people back in, maybe to sell to more people. But on the daily time frame, look at our volume. I mean, this whole run was up on pretty decent volume, decline great, and then the break up was on good volume also. And then now we have a ton of volume with no price progress to the upside. So that is definitely a negative signal in my book. But if it crosses 09166, you could try to get back in. I don't think I will. I don't think I will, but if you guys did want it, this trend line bounce would have been a much better opportunity down here. But like I said, it kind of looks like it's dead. Next up is XLM, which we've already actually looked at once. I try not to duplicate, but we can take another look at it. We just talked about the cup and handle on this one and the updated alert of 99162. That's basically about it right now for XLM. All right, so Jay wanted to look at BTC dominance. We'll take a look at that. And that looks about right. With altcoins have really been on a rally lately, and yeah, look at that. That actually worked out. Look at that, Monkeytron. Check that out. Our trend line, we had that thing broken, kind of never really came back. Yeah, not bad. So yeah, that looks like a bear flag on the 2 hour time frame. It's been I just mentioned a little bit ago we had a few days of consolidation. Now it looks like the alts are going to get going again. If we measured move this thing, which you probably could, I could take it all the way to the top. That may not be the end of the world. You're looking at dominance back down there by 61. If you take that as a measured move, and that you go full screen on this for a second. That really puts us. Keep in mind this was the altcoin bull rally from 2017 right here, right? And then obviously Bitcoin had its moves and stuff like that. There's December 27th. That's Bitcoin's top right there. And then obviously Ethereum had a further run after that. So yeah, we could be I mean, this is what we've been actually, I'm glad we're looking at this. This is kind of what we've been talking about, guys, for like the past month about a major alt season. I mentioned earlier, it looks a lot like 2017. And not that Bitcoin's not going to do anything. In 2017, Bitcoin had a hell of a run. If you guys remember, 2017 was not a bad year for Bitcoin. Okay, definitely not a bad year for Bitcoin, but it was a really good year for the alts, and I think we're just kind of seeing that again right now. So, and this kind of actually, I don't want to say proves it, but this is definitely a good indication of the altcoin's resurgence. That's a good way to put it. I do kind of like that. FET, yeah, I'll look at FET. So again, if you guys are going to put pairs up, please put, FET BTC, FET USD, and if you have a time frame, do that as well. Ethan, I'm doing a stream, dude. Can you stop doing that, please? I said stop, not do slower. Thank you. Nothing new in crypto. DeFi hype season coming. Well, Sanct. Hey, what's up, Sanct? Whatever you want to call it, buddy. It's a bull run. I don't care if there's nothing. You're right. There's not too much new in crypto. I will say one thing about crypto. It's matured a little bit. It's matured a little bit. I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. Crypto used to be like my 6-year-old. Now it's like my 9-year-old. I think that's probably a pretty fair analogy. Hit the like button if you agree. Yeah, so that's a pretty interesting sign right there of this major trend line breaking on dominance. Thanks for mentioning this one. We don't look at this every day. It's actually been a while since we've checked that out. ZEC. All right, let me get to, so next up is the BTC pairs. Let me do these question ones that you guys have had, and then we will move on with the rest. Already 44 minutes in. Told you it's going to be a long one today. Next up is question about Lisk. Someone had a Lisk question. All right, so there's Lisk. Looks like we have a symmetrical triangle on Lisk. We did have an alert as it was trying to get going at 1370. 1370. Obviously, that didn't work out very well. So, it looks like this top trend line is kind of still in play, and we are trying to chop through it. So, if you want to, that's a possibility. I'm not massively mad at that. It looks like we do have. Oh shoot! I forgot to write down the timestamp. Shoot. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so for those of you joining, This is the live power hour that I do every single day for members, and we have timestamps at the end of the video after it's recorded. I put timestamps in the comments so you guys can see the coins that you want to look at. So please check out for a comment if you're watching this video afterwards. So Lisk has held that low pretty nicely. I'm actually not too mad at this. Yeah, so we had this alert which didn't work, and then yeah, I'm not super mad at this. I would like a little bit more volume and bullish action because we don't have either right now. The problem here is breaking this in a sideways fashion. I would not arbitrarily enter at this stage. I would probably likely actually, you know what? That's my same old alert, 1380. I would probably look for some resistance point. You could even give it all the way up to here to 1477. You know, this could go on to form some kind of a wider range down here. It's okay. I don't think it's worth like really, you know, jumping into at this stage of the game. All right, next up is FET. There we go. All right, so FET. So we've had a few alerts on this one. I don't have it today. Yeah, I don't have this today. Oh, looks like I missed that one a couple of days ago. And we look at like 200 coins a day. I can't get every single one of them. Yeah, that's not bad. It's a little elevated right now. We haven't had, if you can look by the chart, we haven't seen a tremendous amount of upside movement. Usually get these larger candles and then it stalls out. So I'm not sure if I want to enter up here. I'd much rather try to enter on a pullback and try to draw yourself a trend line or two and try to find some support. You know, it's okay. It hasn't been my cup of tea, which is why we really haven't been following it. Um, yeah, it was okay. The volume really didn't get going over here. Yeah, not my favorite. It's definitely getting up though. I mean, I can't deny that. That's your breakdown point, which we've already broken. Actually, yeah, that would have been a good alert right there on the breakdown point. See, it starts to break down. That's breakdown point plus prior support. That's a great pivot point actually. So if you did want to get in, I would probably try to put your stop under here somewhere, which is pretty deep right now at about 15%. But that's your pivot point. That's going to be the point where it's going to die on you, or it's not. It's going to get supported, or it's going to, you know, not. It's going to die. So that would probably end up being my stop. But that's pretty wide at almost 15%. You'd have to have a half position, maybe smaller than that. Hey James, can you not do that, buddy? I'm doing a live stream. And you continue to do it. See, there's my 6-year-old. The previous kid was my 9-year-old. He actually got off the things. All right, so next up was Zcash. Yeah, Zcash has been an interesting one. Okay, so we do have Zcash. Is it on the? It's warm in here. So. Oh, you know my AC's closed. I thought it was open. Didn't look at it. All right, you can close it. Hey, babe. Hi. So, there you go. Problem with live streams. I'll tell you, man. If you guys do any recording, I've got this, and you have to have a NVIDIA graphics card. But there's a program called NVIDIA RTX Voice right now, and here I'll show you. So that's music playing in the other room. I can see it on my monitor thing. Thanks, babe. Yeah. And she just set a cup down, so if you heard that, you're good. Thank you. And then so here I'll turn it back on. It's like dead quiet. And then here I'll set the cup down again. I guess that one still heard, but yeah, anyway. Anyway, if you guys do any recording and you're on an NVIDIA graphics card, NVIDIA RTX Voice, it's in beta. It's in beta with them right now. Okay. Yeah, Zcash 6164 alert. is what we have. It's not on the newsletter today, so I'm not sure exactly when I added that, but nice handle, nice handle right there. If you look at the daily time frame, we actually looks like we've already had a few alerts: 92, 52, 97, 5702, 6164. Yeah, I mean, so far so good. You're not getting massive moves out of Zcoin though, unfortunately. I don't know if it's gonna blast off or when. So probably wouldn't be one of my first choices. We have a lot of other coins with a lot more upside potential. I mean, if you do get up here, you got about 30% to recent highs right there, which isn't too bad. Oh, thanks, Jose. Yeah, that was beginning of 2018, beginning of 20. Was that the Christmas one? That well, not it was like 12/22 where we hit 10. Was that the 10.5 one? I still push that. I still push that video on a lot of people that want to watch bottoms happen. That's a great video because it's there. You can see it. It's hard to. I don't know of any service that does all the timestamps. Like if you could find a service that could actually show you all of the if you look at those pivotal moments is a good way to put it. If there's a service that like replays those for you, that'd be pretty cool. TradingView does it, but it's second by second, not tick by tick. So anyway, all right. So that Zcash, yeah, it's not bad though. I've got an alert at 6164 on it currently. Cup and handle, maybe a breakout, but you can see the last breakout we had at 5702 completely retraced. The last one completely retraced. Could be an ascending base. I'm sure Monkeytron was just thinking that too as I was typing it, but man, that's a lot of undercut to make that an appropriate ascending base. An ascending base is three bases. So an ascending base usually would look like this. And then it actually blasts off from the third base. It's a rare and kind of difficult to identify pattern. We did find a few of them like a year ago or so. There's a few of them at that point. Oh, they got tick by tick if you pay for top subscription? Gotcha. Yeah, see, that'd be pretty cool. That's actually not bad. All right, let's get back to the newsletter coins. Oh, someone else mentioned KNC USD for Wilcon again. All right, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. KNC USD. Yeah. Okay. I think KNC's on here on the. Yeah, it's on versus Bitcoin though. Yeah, this thing has just been in a huge move, and I don't remember the note that I put on KNC, but yeah, this isn't bad at all. So bull flag, you definitely have a nice consolidation forming here. That's a very manageable stop. If you do want to enter lower in these situations, I'm usually not opposed to that, especially in a coin that's already had at least one nice pump. There's like, okay, so there's something called a first pump, is what I call it. It's that initial move off of the low. The problem is everyone tries to buy that initial move and they can't handle the subsequent consolidation, or in a lot of cases, first pumps fail. They're fake outs, right? So after the first pump, the breakout from there, these are really nice consolidations to buy off of, especially if it's kind of proven itself. And KNC's actually kind of done that. It's not perfect, but it's look at the chart, man. It really is excellent. Actually, this is a gooseneck pattern. We haven't seen one of those in a while. We can start seeing those again. We may start seeing gooseneck patterns. That's a gooseneck pattern. It's a pattern that I developed in 2017, waiting to get back in at 130, but it's refusing to break 157. Am I missing half a chat or something? No, it's just kind of small. Oh, I just can't see. Okay. 157. You want in at 130. Oh, waiting to get back in at 130, but it refuses. Oh, to the downside, you want to get in at 130? If it gets to 130, I don't know if you want it. You don't want this at 130. This is now a mature chart pattern. If this breaks and goes all the way down there, um, See, my gooseneck pattern here, I've seen this before. That's why I mentioned the name to it. This is a gooseneck pattern. This is actually a very aggressive gooseneck pattern. The gooseneck pattern comes from a symmetrical triangle that goes down first. Usually the gooseneck looks like this. Usually so you have a symmetrical triangle. It breaks down, comes up, consolidates, and then blasts off. I actually saw that quite a lot in 2017. I had to put a name on it. And this is a similar chart pattern to that with just not a lot of sideways action. But this would not qualify for a gooseneck pattern. They come out as symmetrical triangles. So if this undercuts this 157, if this gets to 157, you want to buy it. Okay, you want to buy it and put your stop at 150 and give yourself a whopping 3-4% risk or whatever that is. I don't want this at 130. There's some situations I think where you can say, yeah, a pullback to this would be warranted. Like here's an interesting situation right here. You start to have yourself a downward sloping channel, right? And then you're like, okay, I fully understand here that we could get down to a prior support, and look at that, boom. I mean, I didn't know that was there. It's just how charts work. When you have it, so depending on the situation, I think you can look for some of those pullbacks, but I don't think this is one of the situations. This here, you're showing strength, and you don't want it to break because it's strong. If it breaks, that means that strength breaks. It's kind of like watching your dad cry. Usually not something most people want to endure. So, yeah. I mean, look, I could be wrong and it breaks down and gets to 130 and bounces right off of that. You could be 100% right, but I don't like that. I like if I see support, and see, here's the thing. Sometimes, and I don't know if this is what's happening, but I think it is because you use the words "get back in." You're trying to relive an old trade. In a lot of circumstances, that's impossible. In some few lucky circumstances, it's possible, and a lot of people, if so, like I said, this is a strong pattern, right? If it breaks, it's no longer a strong pattern. That means the upside is probably dead. So if you get 130, you're looking at risk reward. That's why. Um, I wouldn't view it. I don't view it that way. I mean, I guess at 130, my risk would be all the way down here at 22%. That's way too much risk. That's way, way, way too much risk. I don't. Yeah, from my perspective, like this. See, this is in the middle of this run. There's nothing here to support. There's nothing here. I don't. There, like literally, there's nothing here. You have something here. You got a little bit of a flag there, and then you may have this breakdown point. Sometimes I've seen these, like I mentioned, the gooseneck pattern where it comes up and goes sideways. Sometimes where it can go sideways can be some support, which actually happens to be where that flag is that I just mentioned too. So yeah, no, your risk right now, Wilcon, is actually at that 157. That's your risk. So you're in a decent risk reward perspective in this area. You're missing the beautifulness right in front of you, looking for, I don't know, something else. So yeah, I mean your risk right now is undercutting all of these lows because this is a pretty well established bottom. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. 10 attempts at going lower. I'm not going to count that one. you know, I got to draw the line somewhere, and I included that one. Didn't include that one. Yeah, do what you want to do there. But anyway, I think your stop would be about 154 on this one if you did that, which would be underneath all of this. If you get wicked out of that, that sucks. Does happen from time to time though. And then yeah, I mean your reward, let's say because it's on a little, let's say you get back down here, your risk is 3.87 with a reward maybe of 21. So that's a 7-to-1 risk reward ratio trade right there. That's not bad at all. All right, on to Power Hour coins at 1 hour into the stream. Told you it was going to be a long one. All right, Cardano. So we had an alert at 1309. These are all, from here on out, guys, it's all Bitcoin pairs. All these are Bitcoin pairs, except for this BTT. I'm just going to delete that. I don't need that anymore. Yeah, so we do USD pairs, then we do BTC pairs. So these are all Bitcoin pairs from here on out. And I think I've gotten everyone's coin. If anyone has another coin question, feel free to post it. with the coin pairing, and we'll take a look at it. But I think I got everyone's question that I wrote down at least. Okay. All right. So Cardano. My timestamp changed, so I'm writing it down. Okay, so Cardano, we talked a little bit about this versus the dollar. Popped up 1309 alert. Slight stalling action happening so far. 1 hour into a 2 hour candle, our volume on the is actually pretty good. We're going to have a higher volume candle. Hopefully we can pop up. Um, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you got a trend line support down here, which is vital, absolutely vital, and it's actually also right in line with this low here. So if you wanted to give it to there, which is really tight, that's a really tight stop at about 4% or something like that. But right at our alert levels, chopping chopping around it though. All right, next up is AE. I've got one, two, three, four. I've got 6 A coins. Reminds me back in the day when we used to have all A coins on the newsletter. That's weird. AE, there we go. So putting in a large cup, and I've got a 1659 alert. This is a pretty aggressive alert level. You know, I could actually throw one up a little bit higher. I mean, since we're getting up to it right now, I could put one right there, which is just barely above where we are. But this is a nice little potential handle. I want to say potential because on the daily time frame there is no handle, but this is a cup, and the right side of this cup has excellent volume signatures. And so, you know, we could come up here and stall out. So my alert, yeah, let me actually adjust my alert. Yeah, sometimes I get a little bit too happy. 1699. Let's adjust that for AE. There we go. So, I mean, if you do want to get in it right now, you can do that. Your stop would be the low down here at about 3.5%. Not too bad, but if you start to handle, that's a guaranteed hit. You're guaranteed to hit that stop if we start to handle further. So, bit of a risky opportunity. I would make a really small trade if it started about a quarter position. If you wanted to do that trade up here, then if it starts to act better, you can continue to add to the trade. But if it starts to falter on you, then you're at least not getting hurt, and you can hold on to it for a little bit. Next up is Algo. All right, so Algo broke out of our 2670 alert level. We had this one on USD as well. Great volume today, and the volume the past couple of days has been good. Aggregation tool flipping bullish here. RSI is already pretty elevated. Um, so definitely could use a consolidation, it looks like. Volume needs to dry up probably before we continue to move up. So this one I don't think actionable up here. I also don't think you have to sell it up here. I think it's just kind of let it work, keep your stops in place, and we'll see how it pulls back. One bad thing about Algo, if you look at the daily chart, it's all over the place, and we have this little consolidation. It's not like the best looking at all consolidation, so I wouldn't be super surprised if we had a bigger choppy move down to the bottom. That's why I say keep your stops in place because, I mean, look, I love this volume. We've seen similar volume in the past though here, and then it just kind of faltered. So um, AE looks good right now, but bigger picture wise, you can see it doesn't have a ton of support. When you get a chart pattern like this, not a lot of support. All right, next up is Anchor. All right, Anchor. I don't have an alert on this one right now. Our last alert was 36. I'm not updating it because I don't think there's an entry right now. But so this is one of those coins I mentioned a while ago that we've had these coins in these low areas for long periods of time. Anchor's one of them, and they're usually indicated by this big. If you see this gray box in the 2 hour chart, that's what that is. So this one was able to break out. So far, this appears to be a low-ish volume pullback. 1 hour left in a 2 hour candle, and we could get up to here. So that's not too bad. If for some reason you really like Anchor, it is trying to break out of this much larger pattern. So if you're looking to hodl something from some lows into some highs, this could be a possibility. I don't know a lot about Anchor, but chart-wise, it's trying to break the lows, and that's always a good thing. Next up is ARN. Um, so in a lot of cases, I mentioned I don't know a lot about ARN. We will actually look into ARN, but we're already so far out here anyways that I'm not gonna omit doing that for right now. So yeah, ARN, where are we at? All right, 2539 is the alert currently. So we have a bit of a symmetrical triangle. This one with a kind of a longer, going back to that same September, August time frame of last year, has a high over here. We're coming up. We're finding some resistance against it. The good part is though, is that we're consolidating just underneath of it. Not the best consolidation. I would like a bit of a different pattern. It kind of went choppy on the way up. Did give us a little symmetrical triangle though. Yeah, not my favorite one, but it does have, it's tightening up here. This tightening action is you go from wide to tight and low volume. That's good action right there. So if it breaks up, I have the alert just above these two highs, which are our last two big volume counts. So it breaks above that, it's going to have a run at that high. And so if you take that, your stop is likely going to be probably down there. Wow, 7.5%. Didn't quite realize that was that deep. But 7.5% for ARN. Like I said, you want to put the stops based on the chart and not based on your account. So, all right, next up is Adam. And Adam here, big picture, getting up to this trend line. It's right on it right there. We had some alerts. Adam actually had a pretty nice little inverted head and shoulders in the daily time frame. 2954 alert level. Actually, here's our measured move for the head and shoulders pattern. Just didn't care about that whatsoever and is moving higher. So I think a consolidation here is good. And like I just said, a consolidation underneath a major trend line usually is a base for a larger breakout. So this one, I would be looking for that. And we'll, I guess I can throw an alert up. Let's do that. 4821. If this breaks out soon, I'd be a little suspect of the move, but it just depends on the volume that we have. If we go back to a really good volume on the breakup of this and have elevated volume candles, I wouldn't mind jumping in this one, but it has not consolidated since our alert levels. And so that is a bit of a concern. Yeah, so I could have put an alert there, but by the time we were doing the power hour and everything, it was just starting a downtrend, so I didn't put one up there, but that would have been a good alert. And that one could have been one too. But yeah, 2954, that was a great entry, and you would have got the whole thing. And still no major sell signals. That's the other key here. So by using pi method rules, no major sell signals up here. Hey, what's up, Mark? Next up is Band. And Band worked beautifully at our trend line, at our break there, 118.019. Beautiful declining volume. Volume came in perfectly, and boom, just off to the races. I was kind of surprised that broke that clean. Band is another one that's been very wide and choppy. But so far, it's a good breakout. It's too far extended now to get involved. But if you got involved in Band, as good as it's going, I would probably just continue raising stops, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'd give this back to it. Let's say you gave the stopping point here on Band. Yeah, 6 or 7% wasn't too bad. And then I'd be raising it to here, if not here. Just because this thing does have a large history of pulling back, huge pullbacks after big moves. Like this one went on to go a little bit higher, but then had a huge wick. So, I mean, you want to stay with this as much as you can and ride it up. You can use a trend line as an exit point too. As part of our pi method that I've mentioned a few times here, that we're using a lot more these days. It just gives us super good ways to stay in trades. And but yeah, so band working there really nicely. I really like the volume. It's great. I'd like a little bit more in the daily time frame. You can see the volume we're capable of on Band, and we're not getting a lot of it right now. So if we get a failure, it's due to lack of volume, and that's why I say you got to kind of stay with it so you can sell it. Next up is BNB. And BNB working right now, 18,822. You can see the resistance line right there. We're breaking that little consolidation beneath it. It's exactly what you want to see. We tried a little bit later yesterday, and then just a small pullback on lower volume and good volume on the breakout. So BNB looks actionable at this moment in time. Up about 2%. From our alert level, you're up about 1.5%, so that's not too bad. I would like to see more and better volume. And your stop right now would be down here at about the 18,460 something, down here-ish, underneath that little candle right there. Your better stop, if you want to be wide with it, would be down here about 5. Well, that's not 5.5%, but down there about 6 to 7%. That would be your best stop right now, completely under that base. That would If that fails, it's failed. All right, next up is a COS. All right, COS also breaking out 99 alert level. Looks like this completed the breakout in that previous candle. 2 hour chart, good volume there, good volume here. Oh no, wait, that's the lower volume. Okay, that's the lower volume. That's good volume. This one so far pretty good volume. Not bad. Collage, ZRX, I actually don't have that. Yeah, actually, yeah, ZRX actually isn't too bad. I almost put that on the newsletter today. Almost put that on the newsletter. Let's go look at that real quick because this one's just breaking out too. I mean, I guess if you wanted to buy that, you could. Your stop's down here about eight or so percent. That's your best stop down there. Um, this Contentos one is another one that doesn't have a lot of great downside action, so that could definitely be a flaw. All right, let's take a look at a ZRX, which is just all the way at the bottom here. All right, so yeah, ZRX, I kind of I didn't put this on the newsletter, but I kind of wanted to in a way. But we're already off of the trend line support, okay? And so we're up a little bit. I have an alert at 4806, which was this prior high. Volume's okay coming off the bottom. All in all, though, ZRX is in a good spot. We're off the bottom. We've already had a large consolidation. We had a big volume increase here. And now we're trying to form a cup and some kind of a weird murderous handle. It's a bit all over the place. We got trend lines everywhere. Everything's kind of being broken. So it's a little hard to try to stay with, but if you stay with it and just you can use this trend line now as your stop. If you want that, I'm not mad at a purchase right there. You got about a 5% stop loss. I'm not too mad at that. This is definitely in an uptrend. So if it fails that trend line, it's probably going to, it may handle out further, but this could also be your handle. So this one's interesting and a little bit difficult because it's not super clear. You see how wide and choppy it is? Up and down, up and down, up and down. I mean, it's just everywhere. So buying it lower is better in these situations. I believe we did have an alert right there, but you never know what these things are going to do. Um, Daily time frame is pretty good. Good volume on the way up here. Good volume on the way up here. So yeah, not too bad. Yep, you're welcome. All right, next up is CTSI. Is that CTSI? That is not CTSI. All right, so CTSI, this one broke out of we've been following this one for a while, and it's been trying to do some work. We had an early alert at 366, which did and didn't work out, but that was a long time ago. That's not a trade you're going to hold for that long. But we did find some good support in that area, so that was encouraging. We had two other alerts at 439 and 458. Right now, it looks like we're going to put in. Looks like we're just wanting to do some work right now. So could have a pullback situation. Not much to do up here at the moment with CTSI, but just keep an eye on it. If you have it, I would just keep your stop in place or move it up to break even if you got in down here somewhere. Because I mean, in theory, if you look at it on the daily time frame, it should be done with this low. It should be done with it. So hopefully you can move your stop up and then it's just off. Hopefully. Welcome to trading, right? All right, next up is Dash. We talked about Dash against the dollar. Similar situation here against Bitcoin. 78.74 alert level. We had a prior one of 76.14, broke out a few days ago. Held it pretty nicely, and then not doing too bad up here. Hey, PJ. Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. So, but yeah, Dash 78.74. Hopefully we get, and that candle didn't close very well. This was more bullish when I saw it. So we'll see. So far, it's been able to hold these lows. If it can do that, maybe it'll break up a little bit later on. Otherwise, it could do another consolidation. But that 78.74 is still a pretty valid alert. I could lower it down to here on top of those closes and get close to these wicks. I could do that. I'm just going to leave it up here, though. All right, next up is Doc. All right, so Doc actually in a very interesting area. This could be an area to look for a pullback buy. So we had a breakout at 91. This is had a nice larger base right there. Big, beautiful volume. Actually, that wasn't big volume at all. That's the big volume on the top. So we'll see, but it could pull all the way back. Where's this 102? Okay, so that's 102. We are declining volume right now, so hopefully we can stay sideways here, and then that could be a potential move up. No alert on this one right now though, because it's just a little bit too in the weeds at the moment. But just keep an eye on it for a potential bottom buy. All right, after that is ICX. ICX 4492 alert level. It has kind of a small cup and handle here. Breakout from our earlier 3777, and we had an early breakout from this particular declining. Nice, PJ. Nice. Um, thanks for clarifying that. I've been like, what the hell? Uh, yeah, sure, Wilcon. Yeah, thanks for the questions. Yeah, so 4235 was our early breakout point. 4492 is our current breakout point for ICX. Next up is Kava. Kava. Yeah, so Kava here really got going, and a little bit too much distribution right there. That could be a topping candle, although we haven't moved lower yet, so that's not a bad thing. Um, yeah, if you're looking at Kava, we're looking at potential exits right there because we already had a big blast off volume. Last time we had big blast off volume, we kind of, I don't want to say squandered the opportunity because we had subsequent moves, but um, yeah, look at this thing, man. Let's go naked chart for a second. Just kind of broke out really on okay volume, but you really would have had to stay with it, and then you get the payoff like a week or two later. That happens in a lot of circumstances. Is that you really have to give it time to work. If you get into a position that you really see, like say you really saw potential in Kava here at this, breakout of the 11 821 or whatever it was, if you really like that, there's really no reason to exit it on the way up here. Even on the 2 hour time frame, there's really nothing too bad. But you're rewarded about 2 weeks later finally with a payoff. So yeah, it just depends your style. Oh, it's actually a blue sky breakout. I didn't realize that. Oh, snap, son. Wow. I didn't realize that. Blue sky breakout for Kava. At least on Binance. I'm not sure if there's additional history, but okay. All right. So that's good. That's really good. Looks like I didn't view the chart back far enough on this one. I probably looked at it like this. Didn't realize this was the first candle. So anyway, Kava, pretty nice right there. All right, next up is KNC. KNC. All right, so I've gotten a little KNC, the 18193. You can definitely see we popped, so we broke our declining trend line right there. We popped up. Volume is a little bit light, unfortunately. It's bigger, but you can see historically it's not really that big. And then we put in, one of these was the breakout candle, one of these was the stalling candle. We've been underneath that ever since. So we got to break that 18193. If we falter lower here, this thing's dead. You can see it's already had huge substantial runs. KNC. There's some alert levels down here, but I had to clear my chart out sometime a few months ago, so all those are gone. But there were some alerts down here too. I don't remember down here. I know we had one there. I think we had one or so up here. But anyway, huge run for Kyber Network. They all end at some point. This one, so this trend line here is this trend line right there. Could be breaking. If we don't break that 18193, this thing could just be dead. I know we already looked at KNC versus the dollar, so one thing when you're looking at, in my opinion, when you're looking at dollar versus Bitcoin, you have to kind of take both in context, I think. All right, next up is Lend. Yeah, we're going long. People are dropping like flies. Uh, so Lend here broke out our 2067. This thing just keeps going and going and going. And there you can see where, looks like it was April when I had to wipe out my system there, but a little choppy on the way up. But I mean, once it started elevating, these bases were just perfect. And then even Lend up here, we're like, yeah, I don't know, but and then boom, you get a nice, beautiful breakout again. I don't have a new alert level on Lend right now. I actually could put one up here, but one thing about this breakout is look at our volume. It is low. We don't have we don't have near the amount of buying pressure that we did. So this thing is in danger of failing, I think. And at this stage of the game, you're going to want to hawk those pi method exits because yeah, when you start having low volume moves to the upside, it's you're eventually dying. It's kind of like when you're watching the vulture circle above a baby fawn. You're like, okay, all right, that baby fawn's gonna die. That's what low volume is like in these big uptrends like that. And then so this breakout you can see with 8 hours left. This prior one had slightly had lower volume too, right? But this one's going to be lower and lower. So we may get one more, we may get another big pop. I don't know, but that volume's going to get you. That volume's going to get you. And using your pi method, your price action exits, really going to do the body good on that one. All right, next up is Link. So Link alert at 67,602. Talked about this one versus the dollar. Same thing versus BTC. A nice pop up here. Hopefully we can go sideways and then pop up from that. If we continue to go down, we'll just keep lowering this alert level on the way down. If you've already got Lend, I don't think there's anything to do here. Just let it work. That was quick because it's pretty easy. Next up is Poly. When's the last time we looked at Poly? I don't know. I don't know when the last time I looked at Poly was. Looks like a little while ago. We had the 583 alert there. Okay. Here's another one of those big bottoming boxes going all the way back to September, August of last year. This one already up. Look at that. We came down, tested it, and now we're moving back up. So this is a buy point. Right there, you got yourself. That's a way deep stop loss. That sucks. Don't do that. If you wanted to buy this now, I mean, that's about a 28%. You could give yourself 6% risk. Right, there's an inverted head and shoulders here too, actually. You could put a stop right there, which is about 6 or 7% lower. This is really deep at 14%. That's way deep. So you want to try to avoid that. If you want to go there, you got to give it about a half position size. So if you're trading $1,000 positions, you can only trade with 500 bucks. You can maybe try to go under here where the volume steps in about 8%, if that's something you want to do for polymath. But the consolidation on polymath has been really nice. If you look at the daily time frame, we've had pretty good volumes coming all the way out of here. Obviously, a tremendous amount of distribution. As a matter of fact, my daily volume aggregation tool, the buyers have never had control. But sometimes the VA tool, the VA tool is a tool. It's not necessarily a primary indicator. So you want to use it in context. And right now, the context of it doesn't matter because the price is going up. So you use general price action. But it's always nice to have confirmation with the VA tool. All right, next up is QSP. All right, just stalled at our 314, which was the prior high. Yeah, we mentioned this one rallying, I think we mentioned rallying all the way up through. I don't remember exactly. But we did have a nice flag here. It formed in the overnight session. Yeah, so there was 9 o'clock. Yesterday we had really no. If I saw this flag, that would have been a buy point right there, but we've already rejected the high. And best case scenario here is that we can put some sort of a handle in, and then we'll have a cup and handle for QSP. Here's another one. This one doesn't have a square, but you can firmly see that I don't know how to push buttons. What the heck? So you can firmly see right there's a low consolidation point. We're well above that. So I don't think this, I mean, it may be dead, it may not be dead, but I think a consolidation is definitely, it's pointing to that right now. So not much to do with QSP. If you see a rejection like this at a buy point, by the way, that is an exit signal. You don't have to wait for your stop to get hit. That is a blatant exit signal. Next up is Strat. Ooh, 10x. Oh, I almost put that on the newsletter yesterday. I was so close. I went back to it 3 times. Usually my rule is if I go back to it 3 times, I put it on the newsletter, and I broke my rule and it popped today. That's the problem with looking at so many coins. You can't get them all right. All right, next one is Stratus. Another one with a very low entry or consolidation period. Had a prior load at 55. whatever that is, and that ended up breaking the other day. And then we had another smaller consolidation yesterday at 64.51. So that broke up pretty nicely. A little bit more distribution here than I'd like to see. Look at the VA tool, actually quite a bit of selling in here. So we'll see what happens. A pullback is in order, nothing to do here at this moment in time. But Strat maybe trying to get out of this out of these lows here. I really don't like Strat. I got to be honest with you, but I listen to the charts and so I throw them up anyways. This thing to me has never really had a great run. I didn't come in like the super early days of Strat. I think it had some good runs way back in the day, but since its first initial run, it's never carried like a really good run. So I'm a little bit trepidatious, is the word I'm going to use, to jump into this, but technically it looks pretty good. I'm not, look at the VA tool actually jumped right there on some of those candles. So it's looking pretty good. A nice pullback buy could be an opportunity. Maybe we get back to 64.51, maybe another point. But Strat, not too bad. All right, next up is Theta. Man, I love me some Theta. 26. Okay. Love me some Theta. Theta trying to get busy again. You can see our prior alerts on Theta coming out of lows. Flag right there, whatever that is, and then whatever that is, and then we had another Pi method exit way up here. So Theta after that has been consolidating nicely, and for the past month, we've been going sideways. Higher lows abound, so we got a 28.95 alert up on the 2-hour time frame. Let's see if it works. Next up is Tomo. All right, Tomo looks like breaking an early trend line. I've gotten an alert of 75.69. This one, we had a couple lower alerts down here. Worked out pretty nicely. A little bit choppy, especially like these lower ones. This was kind of garbage. Then you put in this bigger alert, and even that got messed with. So Tomo's another bit of a choppy one, but this is kind of an early buy point, so maybe that'll make things easier to hold on to. Yeah, volume's weird too. Tomo's a weird one. It's made some good moves, but it's just a little bit difficult to hold on to. Our next one is XLM. I don't know how to spell. All right, so XLM, we just adjusted this actually on the dollar. We put the alert up here. I'm gonna put the alert here. Let's do it at 1071. That's something I should. I should just leave the trend lines, keep moving the numbers. That would be a good thing to do. Hey, yeah, no problem, Jay. Thank you very much. Thanks for the like. Guys, we fight so hard for these likes. If you're on YouTube, you're like, I just hope they like the damn video. Otherwise, no one's ever going to find it. It sucks like making a video and knowing no one's ever going to see it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really happen to me that much anymore, but just generally, we try to starting a couple other little channels my family has, and you're like, this is really good. But like 4 hours of working and no one ever sees it. All right, XTZ's next. All right, so this guy already broke out. 2904 was our alert level. We had really good volume coming in on the way up. 3 nice volume candles, 30 minutes left in a 2-hour candle. We're going to see a little bit more. And XTZ versus Bitcoin, looking excellent. This is an excellent chart versus Bitcoin. If we get another move up here, you're looking at 30%. I thought it'd be more, but still 30% is pretty good. So XTZ right now is kind of in a buy area. Your stop at this stage, actually, your better entry, I don't know if I had this or not, would have been down here on the trend line break, but because your stop's actually down here about 10%. If you want, you could put your stop up at this consolidation. That wouldn't be bad. That'd be 7.25. That's not bad. That comes in right where all these volume candles step in. So that's probably your stop right now underneath all those big volume candles if you want to jump in on that. If I think we're going for a big bull run. Next up is ZIL. I think we had another coin to look at too, 10x. Yeah. So ZIL is not being as happy as it could be. ZIL, massive move up, absolutely massive move up. And it didn't top in a crazy fashion. We didn't have a pie exit on it, but it didn't really top in a crazy fashion. It came back down to another supportive trend line. And now you see we're kind of walking up, trying to form the right side of a very large cup. Hopefully that's going to work out, but it's not going with the coins right now, and that is definitely a concern. One thing I've noticed, those of you that have been in the Power Hour a long time, is when we look for these follow throughs and the market's moving and you see these laggard coins. For instance, last time we saw Dash and Ethereum Classic, they were leading, and then other coins started to move and they were lagging. Not good. And you see kind of what happened to them. I'm hoping that doesn't happen with ZIL. Those coins just kind of died into the night. So, um, like I said, this had a pie exit on it, but at the same time, the consolidation really wasn't that bad. So we had an alert down here at 193. I actually have a trade in ZIL right now, and I'm hoping this is going to hold. Otherwise, I may have to exit if it undercuts this 204 level right there. Maybe I'll give it a little bit more. Maybe I'll just give it to break even. I haven't just quite decided yet, but I do want to give this the benefit of the doubt. There's a really good upside movement there, but I don't want to have too much dead money while the rest of the market's kind of running up here. All right, so that was the newsletter. 130. Okay, not as bad as I thought. And then someone mentioned 10x, that's pay, for those of you that don't know. And yeah, I saw pay today and I shook my head. I'm like, damn it. Should have put it on yesterday. Yeah, what I saw that I should have done, but we were super heavy, is that would have been my trend line. And on my 2 hour time frame, my alert probably would have had, actually, I probably would have put it right there. Or I would have put it right there, but I would have put it lower because there's the reason I would have put it lower is this beautiful flat price action. This covers almost, well, yesterday would have been here. And then, but anyway, you can see right there, nice tight price action. I like that. So I probably would have put it, yeah, right there is probably where I would have put it. But anyway, you can't win them all. But yeah, that was a great breakup. Absolutely great. Pay has been absolutely decimated. This was such a good trading coin back in the day. Oh, I forgot the damn timestamp. Damn it. This was such a good trading coin back in the day, and it really is a shame it just completely and utterly died. Just absolutely, completely and utterly died. Yeah, there you go. Had a beautiful, beautiful run up. If you guys were here back then, if you remember, um, it just it was everywhere. It was like the thing. Um, so and then it just died. I mean, just everything about it died. I think we had like a few alerts on it, which is probably why I didn't do it yesterday. Oh, that's the wrong one. So yeah, in terms of a profit target, I don't know. Look, it depends. If you get in down here, if you got in, on the breakout there, I think you can. If you got in down there, I think you can try to let it ride for a little bit. But there's definitely some resistance up here. It's got to break that. If it can break that, it has a possibility. There we go. So where does that go back to? Not quite August of last year to actually undercut. Looks like. Oh wow. Wow, that had a big undercut. So, yeah, I don't know. This one's a toughie because I mean it had a great breakout yesterday, but like just bigger picture wise, I don't know what's going to save this thing. Nothing has fundamentally changed about it. Not that it has to. I mean, coins are running now that haven't fundamentally changed, but it's I don't know. I don't have a target. I don't really do targets to be honest with you. Um, yeah, I don't really do too many targets for these. Some we can throw targets on if if they show certain patterns. Um, but I don't have a way to pattern a coin that's you know sitting at a resistance point and may or I mean the only way you could maybe try to do that in my opinion would be a measured move probably, which would be up to 905, but it hasn't broken out to really fulfill that yet. Actually, that wouldn't be where we take profit from. So you're looking about 30% profit on a measured move. And then there's another resistance up here too that's just underneath. So that's a possibility if it breaks out, but it's got to break that resistance right there. We've already seen today a couple of coins that have similar resistance to this that have broken out. So yeah, let's do that. 700 alert for VET. Wait, pay. 700. Our last alert was 1260. That was our last alert. It was 1260. Huge. Yeah. So anyway, if you want it, it's, I think that buy yesterday was a good buy. That's a good low risk buy. Even buying that up there, I'm cautious about that. I'm gonna put that note in there on the alert system. Caution on this trade. Yeah, I'm just gonna put that note in our alert system because it's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one. All right, guys. So that's kind of it. That's the Power Hour. That's what we do. If you guys do like the Power Hour, if that was fun, we do that every single day. It's usually not this many coins. But anyway, I cover all the same coins every day, so we get a really good feel for the market. And if you guys are interested, you can check out my website, real-crypto.com. If you want to sign up for that, you can go to the, I'll show it to you for a second. Not going to shove it in your face, but you can go to services right here. And then right there's the Real Crypto Power Hour if you guys are interested. So we'll do one of these again. I don't know exactly when. Maybe once a month or a couple times a month or something like that. Just kind of keep things interesting. So thanks for joining me, guys. Please hit that like button if you did like it. I see quite a few you had, so thank you for hitting the like button. Do appreciate that. Leave a comment if you want to as well. And again, if you're watching this later on, I will be putting those timestamps in the comments so you guys can check out whatever coin you were looking at and see if I was full of crap or not. All right, guys. Well, have a good day. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.